Everyone has a longing for something more. Everyone has a desire to feel loved, to feel wanted, needed, accepted, to feel loved. Our life is like a child looking out at the vastness of her father's green pastures. Endless pastures full of long, luscious grass and an ever-extending skyline of trees and millions of flowers. Throughout our lives, we wade our way through this grass and we come across all different kinds of paths, and they're all lined with flowers that represent truth and lies. In my innocent desire, I didn't realize who, where, or what I was collecting my flowers from. The field of the world was plagued with weeds and thorns, plagued with flowers whose essence was destined to persuade, confuse, and ultimately destroy. Wandering along my chosen path, I came across the large and impressive leaves of a white magnolia. As I inhaled the aroma of perfection, it filled my lungs with this pressure and expectation, and a standard I thought that I must live up to. The next flower I found was a violet. Its vibrant purple petals caught my attention, and this gift of fragile love was what I received by adding it to my collection. Another layer was added that left me feeling broken and rejected time after time as I reached for something or someone to give me the value and validation that I so greatly desired. Out of the corner of my eye, the glimmer of a coin caught my attention, but I turned to face a flowering sweet pea. Its seductive fragrance drew me in, only to leave me paralyzed and gasping for air. And this was my bouquet. A perplexed mix of disappointment, rejection, and unrealistic expectations that all left me feeling trapped, empty, and ultimately feeling worthless. And so I embarked on my journey through the field of life, following these winding and deceptive paths lined with these flowers. I was overwhelmed with the enticement of their perfume, but it left my hands raw and torn from the thorns that pierced my skin and the poison that made its way to my heart. And the result? An endless cycle of love, desire, rejection, and the need to be perfect. When you're stuck in a cycle, it feels like there is no end. I would make my bouquet and add the final touches, and it would be ripped from me, the petals torn from their stems and squashed into the dirt of the beaten path. And in the midst of me trying to pick up these broken pieces, I found the coin. A golden coin in the soil that caught the radiance of the sun peeking through the darkness. And as I bent down to pick up the coin and dusting off the dirt, I looked up to see the face of a father staring back at me. With my eyes fixed on his, he lifted his hands to present me with a bouquet of flowers. I had a choice to make. Was I going to lay down these old bouquets to accept the new one? But that means leaving behind the old ways and choosing to let go of perfection and accepting his love for me. But it was so easy to keep the old flowers. I already have them in my hands and I'm already busy fixing mine. But something intrigued me with this new arrangement. It looked made, handcrafted, almost designed with this love and care that I'd never seen before. The vibrant yellow petals of a daffodil graciously laid the foundation for a new beginning. And the little teacup-like buds of a tulip tilted to reveal little waterfalls of perfect love and faithfulness, just waiting, ready to be poured out. And the last flower, this time, was offered to me by his hand. A single camellia, beautiful in its pink flowering explosion of petals, an offer I'd never had from any of the other flowers, to place my destiny in his hands. Just him being there brought me such comfort, a peace that was beyond anything I'd ever felt before. I couldn't shake this feeling in my heart. As I looked down at the coin in my hand, he whispered, "Everything is gonna be alright." My decision that followed was one that changed my life forever. I knew I couldn't hold on to these old bouquets anymore that I'd been trying to make for myself. I had to lay them down. As soon as my fingers left the stems, this relief washed over me, and I fell on my knees at the feet of my father. With his love and warmth pouring over me, he gently opened his hand to me, and taking his hand, he lifted me to my feet and presented me with this magnificent bouquet. The blossoming flowers and vines spilled out over my hands as I gratefully accepted this gift. It was like my eyes had been opened to a world that had been right in front of me this whole time. I just had to lift my eyes to see the Father. And so my journey began. again, but this time dancing down a new path designed by the Creator, the giver of life. He was the one that led me through, adding new flowers with new meaning to a new life of freedom.